cheated on days after wedding and 7 years into relationship. I just found out a few days ago that my recently made wife has cheated on me multiple times with her coworker. It's really hard because we just got married after being together 7 years and postponing our wedding out of 2020 due to COVID, and finally we did it last month. But she's been talking to and meeting up with this guy behind my back for weeks and months, and it's just all so fresh and new. We both had concerns about our relationship for months and years now, different priorities, etc. But I can't help to think that she simply gave up on us and went and did this because she wasn't confident in our relationship and therefore had no moral conscience, so to speak. I do know she liked this guy too, even though she tells me it was nothing. Who knows for sure how deep the connection goes? Anyway, referring to our previous concerns, I am thinking that the best thing to do for myself would be to go ahead and begin filing for a divorce and move on with my life. It's the only way I can protect myself from this in the future, and I will be forever scarred by the imaginations of those two being together. One of the biggest things I have asked for in this situation is accountability. She made the mess. She needs to clean it up. However, she still does not prioritize me in our relationship, going about her business largely the same as before. We have talked and she tells me that she doesn't know how I can forgive her, and I am starting to think this was a self-fulfilling prophecy for her. Cheat, sever ties, move on. I would have been okay with the truth, but why did she have to hurt me to get there? Sucks that it had to come to this. Wish we could have called off the wedding if I had known. I only know because I admittedly snooped, but otherwise believe this would have continued behind my back, and I don't think she really regrets the behavior. More so now she sees how she hurt me and feels bad. I wish she had a backbone and did the right thing in the first place and prioritized me. Even just being more direct with her concerns and taking preemptive action would have stung a little at the time, but could have prevented a mountain of heartbreak. Yes, the timing was pretty terrible, but I suppose there is never a right time. Thankfully, we do not have kids. We are 29 and 30 years old, and kids were actually one major thing we semi-disagreed over. I was open to begin trying soon and starting a family. It is important to me. She does want to have kids eventually, so she has told me, but wants to keep living her life and not be tied down and such right now. So that was one disconnect we had among others, another being which state to live in long term, our current location or back near family, etc. But as we were approaching the wedding, I tried to be a grown and mature person, futile optimism apparently, that we could work things out and have a great future together, all while knowing a 50% chance of divorce down the line if we couldn't work things out. However, for her to do this deed and leave me hurt and bruised now forever rather than just tell me what was going on in her life and be a grown-up about it, makes me very frustrated. I want to make clear that she did not come to me with this information. I did snoop and saw text messages, and apparently she has been confiding in friends/coworkers all along the way too, which makes me feel some type of way about them. But anyway, I had to confront her, which I did immediately, and I gave her the opportunity to come clean about any shady stuff going on, but she did not respond right away. Finally, when I said I knew she had relations, she confessed and explained. Even then, she told me it was only one time, while I was out of town last weekend at a close friend's wedding, without her. But in further conversations, I got her to admit that it has happened multiple times. She says twice. Who knows? Doesn't matter. After snooping a little more, not proud, but I felt like I had to, I learned that, what I believed to be, the first time she met up with him was a few days after our wedding, and she came home and she and I had sex too, so basically she double-dipped that night. Really messed up. That's why I feel like this is unforgivable, regardless of the special history of 7+ years we have had together. Unfortunately, that will have to be a different memory for me, and now I need to move forward. It's not like she had a random encounter one night and made a bad decision under the influence or something and came to me with regret and contrition. No, I caught her, and now I have to believe in myself and start my new life and reality without her. Our lease goes for a few more months, which will be tough, but I am going to look into one of our moving out early to start the separation process sooner. Anyway, thanks for reading and I appreciate your support. Never thought I would be in this situation. But life challenges us every day to be better, and this is my time to rise above. Story 2. Wife, 28F, cheated on me, 29M, less than 1 month into our marriage, denies anything physical. Should I stay or leave? So last week my wife let me know she was going out with her friend Ashley. Not a problem since she frequently goes out with her friends, and I've never had any problem trusting her. What was unusual is that she didn't get home until 4:30 a.m. Usually she is home by 2:30 a.m., once the bars close. I texted her at 4 to make sure she was okay and didn't need a ride home. She got home at 4:30 a.m., showered and went to bed without waking me up. I was fake sleeping since I was upset we had had a small argument before she left without resolving it. Also that she didn't respond to my text. I had to wake up at 5:30 to work, but couldn't sleep. Got up at 5, and I heard a buzz from her phone. I was pissed and did something I never do, opened her phone. As I turned it on, it went straight to her message app where I noticed something strange. She had 2 people listed as Andrea, one was Ashley Smith, the other just Ashley. Upon further investigation, Ashley turned out to be a guy who she had started messaging 5 days after the wedding. Needless to say, I was in shock. There was a couple texts between the 2 of them almost every day since they had started talking. There was nothing explicit, but there was also definitely more smiley faces than I would have liked. The text messages revealed that they had gone out at 3 more times in the last 2.5 weeks. One of the nights was from 2 weeks ago when she had gotten home at 2 a.m. This was the only indication I could have had of what was coming. I was staying up waiting for her since she sounded pretty drunk when I spoke to her on the phone around midnight. I was sitting out smoking on a balcony apartment that night when I heard a car idling outside of the complex. Strange since she usually gets dropped off inside the complex. I went down to help her and saw her jumping out of a large truck. I got her home and asked her who had dropped her off. Ashley, she said. I said that wasn't Ashley's car that dropped you off. She said it was Ashley's husband. I knew that it wasn't his car either. Are you sure? I asked. She got upset, pointed at her ring and said I'm married, I would never cheat. She was drunk, and I knew I wouldn't get anywhere arguing, so I dropped it and went to sleep. I have always trusted her, so I didn't bring it up the next day, and assumed maybe Ashley's husband had another truck I didn't know about. He is a mechanic after all. When I confronted her with what I knew, she immediately exclaimed that he was just a friend. She said that she was sorry that she lied, but she hadn't wanted me to be suspicious. She denied that anything physical happened and said she wasn't attracted to him at all. This is really hard for me to believe. I've never been a jealous person. She often goes out at night with her friends without me, and I never question anything. She says it's a stupid mistake, but obviously, shit doesn't add up. I left the house and have been staying with a friend while I get my feelings sorted out and figure out how to continue. She says she wants to stay together and work on it. I just have a tough time with everything since none of what she says seems to make sense. If he was really just a friend, wouldn't she have told me? She's had male friends before and hung out with them without me there. I've never had a problem because I trusted her before this. So, we haven't been married more than a month, and I feel like this is a terrible way to start off the marriage. We don't have any kids, mortgages, or combined bank accounts. Is this a sign I should leave, or is it worth it trying to work it out? I love her so much, but I'm wondering if this is something that will pop up again in our marriage. I don't trust her anymore, and I'm worried I won't be able to trust her enough to make it work. TLDR, wife of 3 weeks is seeing someone behind my back. Claims he's only a friend even though she lied, going so far as to rename him in her phone with a girlfriend's name. Help! Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit like. If you would like to see more, feel free to subscribe.